Honestly, the only thing that was like somewhat exciting is that Arch Manning played.
I was gonna say, and he looked
so
so good. And I don't know
so
what
exciting.
the injury is to
I think it was nothing crazy.
Okay.
But like a couple weeks.
Is it?
But I don't think it's like end of season by any means.
Okay.
But it was funny. I saw this post that it's like, well, it's a good thing that I wasn't Peyton or Eli's son because they couldn't run like that if it was.
Yeah, he said it was his he goes, I know where my wife or he got the speed from mom. I haven't heard anything on is it Quinn?
That Texas does take over the number 1 spot from Georgia.
They did, and they deserve
Georgia
it. Struggled.
barely beat Duke 13 to 12.
Struggled.
Kentucky.
It was Kentucky.
You are right.
I promise you.
But see, how do you not destroy that team?
I mean, Kentucky's a solid team. I mean, it's an SEC team. I mean, it's just one of those kind of games where I don't know. But let's see. Serious Island. Oh, it is a serious injury.
Oh, it is?
It says week to week, likely out versus UNM.
Yeah. I thought it was just a couple.
There's no set timetable for his return, but his abdominal injury. But sources say there's optimism after consulting with doctors. He's week to week. It's hard to get mad. I mean, you have Arch Manning who he needed the chance, and again, I know it's whatever, University of Texas, San Antonio, like, whoop-de-doo, but like... Yeah,
still did it.
Hey, you got to put on what you got to put on. He had 4 touchdowns. He looked good. Yes, Georgia probably shouldn't have won that game.
I tried watching it. It was like hard to watch because it was so bad.
Painful.
I was like,
this game, it was so... Because like you said, Kentucky's not great, and Georgia just didn't do Georgia, and it was like, what the heck?
I was like, what is going on?
Yeah, Carson Beck looked terrible. The only kind of other bigger game...
FSU is 0-3. That was...
Is that shocking? Well, Florida State. They're the first team to be preseason ranked top 10 and lose their first 3 games to unranked teams ever. They look terrible. They look terrible. It's not even like remotely like, oh yeah, you're going to be able to make a comeback here. They have no chance. Bad. Only other games that I kind of had, Arizona looked really bad about Kansas State. Kansas State is kind of that other team in the Big 12 that should be competing, but like, again, this is what shows to me, and I haven't done this, and I need to do this next week. I'm going to look up the teams that have left the Pac-12, what the combined record is.
Yeah.
Arizona is only 2-1. They are ranked, but like they're ranked 20th, and Kansas State is 14th, 6 rankings higher, 31-7. Mm-hmm. Like this is and I get it. I was talking to I think my dad about this. Each conference is so different. The Big Ten is like big boys, farm guys, like run down your throat, old school football. Then you have like the SEC, which is kind of like we do a little bit of everything. Yeah, we're a little bit more. We open up the field, both the play action. We kind of do that type of. We're a little quicker. We're whatever. Then you have like the Big 12, which is kind of a mix of the SEC and the Big 10. Like you get those cool schools in that Oklahoma State and stuff. And Utah looks good. Like you have some kind of different. Each team's different. Then you have the Pac-12, which to me was always like I always just think right away Oregon because that's kind of what we've grown up with being the dominating team. Quick, fast, like screens gone, like returning punts, returning touch, like quick. Yeah. And I think you're seeing the difference in like how you have to recruit, how you have to find people, what the teams, the strategies, the scouting against these teams. And I think Arizona looked really bad. But then again, you look at it the other way. Alabama, 42-10 on Wisconsin.
That's impressive. It's a good win.
Wisconsin's not
that's a good win
team. Again, nothing too crazy. Missouri beating Boston College. Like, okay, Boston College beat Florida State. That's the only reason they're really ranked. Boston College is fine.
They're not going anywhere.
Tennessee, I don't want to use like a really bad word, but like kind of buttholes. They were up 30-0 and did an onside kick.
Wow.
Just kind of, yeah, it says it right there. There's a video. Stuns Kansas State with an onside, and I think they got it. They won 71-0.
Yeah, that's just...
It's just rude.
Fun.
No, it's just rude.
Yeah, that's
and
not
I
cool.
get it. Like, I don't know. I get it if you want to be like, hey, coach, we're gonna do a couple things that we want to try, blah blah blah. But they're not doing that after the first quarter. Disrespectful, in my opinion. I think it paints a target on Tennessee where people just kind of go like, screw you. What else? There were some rivalry games. What else do you have?
Cam Ward was my last.
He's gonna win the Heisman,
dude.
Go Cougs. I love you, and I
That's
know
crazy.
I know that he.
I just don't think what
We'll
I
have
was
a
actually
soft
going to
spot for
ask
us.
you. So yes, he's doing really good.
He's gonna win
a
the
chance
Heisman.
to win the Heisman.
No,
Could he have
he's
won
the
the
favorite.
Heisman at WSU?
No.
That's what kind of
No, I don't think so because I think there's a couple ways you look at it. One, Miami is just a better team.
Yeah.
I think he would have been in the conversation.
I just don't think he's going to win it in this.
Because he was kind of in the conversation last year for a little bit. Like he puts up numbers. I mean, this year already he has 1,000 yards, 11 touchdowns, 1 pick
Through
like,
3 games.
He's unreal. He's been unbelievable. I don't know. I mean, we've talked about it before. Last year with Wazzu, he had 4,600 yards, 10 or 47 touchdowns, 10 picks. Like, that's pretty good.
What more do you want?
Yeah. So, and I get it. The Cougs are just not. They're not they're not national. Like Miami is a massive program. They're gonna get on TV every week. Whatever. Obviously, the Cougs. He left before kind of the fallout. For the most part, he was pretty honest about wanting to go to the draft, which is, I was totally fine with it. And I was like, even if he comes back and goes plays, the only one that he had the rumors of Oregon, USC, and UW, and I was like, if you go to any of those, you'll become an enemy. Like there's very few things that the Cougs ask, and it's like, don't go to those teams and just say nice things about us. That's all we want. And most of the time, most people have nice things to say about us. Like Gardner Minshew loves us. Cam Ward has already said, like we said, I think it was last week, where he said Pac-12 is the hardest place to play. Like those stadiums are way louder, way scarier than Florida was. Shout out Caleb Lee. But like that's what, and I don't think he's lying to try to, I'm going to try to make this beef between us and Florida bigger. I think he genuinely is like, USC's a harder place to play. University of Washington is these fans don't get the respect and recognition that we have when our teams.
Just West Coast bias.
It's
always been.
It's East Coast, what you want to call it. But
yeah.
But like, we're also fair weather fans.
Oh yeah.
When the Huskies were bad, 3 years ago,
no one shows up.
The stadium's empty. When they were good last year, it was like, we're the greatest team to ever play on the planet.
Everyone's there.
Have you guys ever heard? Have you guys ever heard about like Alabama? They've been good for like 10 years. Have you Michigan, Ohio State, Georgia? These teams have been good forever. You guys have had one good year, and now look at you again. You're gonna get like probably third to last in the Big Ten.
Yeah.
Screw you guys. Other kind of fun ones. Oregon State, obviously.
Oregon just handled them.
The first half, I think, was fine. It was like 22-7. Oregon State was never going to be there. But the Oregon finally kind of clicked. I think a lot of people were just looking at it going, okay, Oregon can't get past Portland. Was it? No, Idaho and Boise State.
Yes, that's
But Boise State's good. But Idaho, they should, whatever.
Boise State's joining.
And Boise State is joining us, of course. That's a huge one. That's like the biggest one I think you could get. Utah State. Utah just looked good. Utah looks good. They're going to be good. There wasn't really, again, nothing crazy. Oklahoma State looked fine against Tulsa, and that was really it.
That's pretty much it. Yeah, I didn't really have too much more on NCAA.
Yeah, the only thing that I thought was interesting was the rankings. I personally, again, maybe a little biased, but we're 3-0 with 2 big conference wins. I thought the Cougs should be ranked. I think Illinois being ranked is stupid. I think A&M being ranked is kind of dumb. Northern Illinois moving up 2 spots for beating Notre Dame and not even playing this week. Dumb. But whatever. No one likes Washington State anyway, so I just have to sit in my corner and do my thing. But that was kind of it. Obviously, again, I think the big news, and you'll probably hear me not shut up about it at least for a year, we won the Apple Cup, so screw you guys. Thanks for listening to the Kind of Athletic podcast. Please like and subscribe to all our social media platforms, and make sure to come back to hear more from the Kind of Athletic podcast.